Welcome back to Artificial Intelligence, where we unwrap the layers of creativity, culture, and technology in the age of AI. I'm your host, Olissa Menakai.
And I'm your co host, Dr. Henrietta Wright. Today's flavor is one you can't ignore: candy coated cherry bonbon. Sweet on the outside, layer goodness on the inside, but full of lessons about what's real and what's artificial. So let's look at the sweetness on the surface of candy. Candy is meant to attract. The glossy wrapper, the bright red coating, the way it sparkles on the light, it's irresistible. AI feels the same way right now. It's sleek, it's fast, it's colorful. People rush toward it for the instant thrill. But here's the thing: candy isn't designed for consumption. Like AI, it's a sugar rush and not for nourishment. The question is, what happens when we confuse that shine with substance?
Exactly. The cherry bonbon is a perfect metaphor. At first glance, it's all sugar shell, exciting and easy. But what matters is the cherry inside. Education and art are like that too. People see the polished classroom presentation or the final artwork, but they don't always recognize the deeper layers that give it meaning.
And that's where the danger lies. If we keep chasing the sugar, we stop teaching people to appreciate the natural sweetness of the fruit.
And so when we think about layers of meaning, we think about how the candy shell is speed, conveniency that shines, where promises is what AI is making it. But just beneath it is syrup, the messy, sticky process of creating. And at the core, the cherry, that original fruit. AI can code and mimic, but the cherry comes from life experience and careful labor.
Yeah, and those layers matter. The syrup is the trial and error, the revisions, the conversations that shape a project. Without that, the cherry feels incomplete. I've seen AI art that looks stunning at first, but when you dig deeper, it misses the cultural resonance. It ignores the symbolism communities have carried for centuries. Sweet surface, hollow meaning.
Exactly. And what we're protecting is not that the chariot itself, but the patience and craft it takes to get there.
Yeah, so what's the education on bonbon? Okay, listen, honestly, students love the sweet shortcut. They love when AI spits out an essay or answers their homework, but we know too much sugar and they miss the nutrition. As teachers, our job isn't to take the candy away, but to guide them past the coating and into the core. That means helping them appreciate the stickiness of learning, the messy parts that build skill.
That's right. A lesson plan isn't just sugar, it's the cherry. It's the patience to slow down, reflect, and let students wrestle with that complexity. If AI replaces that process, students might get the grade, but they won't get the wisdom. They'll miss the nourishment of the cherry.
And when they miss that, they miss resilience.
Yeah.
Because resilience is built in the syrup, in the effort, the rewrites, the grappling with uncertainty. AI can't give them that.
AI can't give us that. And let's make a comparison candy versus nourishment, or like we want to say, nutrition. This is the tension. AI is candy, but education is nutrition. Candy works as a treat, but not as a diet. If everything becomes candy coated, we risk emptying out the very purpose of education and art.
Exactly. Candy can make you feel joyful, but not full. It can't replace a meal. Art without its cherry core becomes attractive, but sour on the tongue. Teaching without reflection becomes hollow training. The balance is what matters. The cherry bonbon works because the sweetness enhances the fruit, not hide it. And it's our responsibility as educators and artists to remind people the value is in the nourishment, not the sugar rush. So, hidden cost. Candy costs more than sugar, believe it or not, right?
Yeah.
It costs teeth, health, long term balance. The same goes for AI. Its hidden costs are bias, culture erasure, the loss of trust in human labor. If audiences get used to consuming sugar, they forget what real fruit tastes like. And when that happens, we risk losing entire traditions because people stop valuing the authentic.
Yeah, and that cost is often invisible until it's too late. Students start to depend on AI, then lose their voice. Artists see their culture symbols recycled without credit. The candy rush feels good, but the crash will come later.
Which means if we don't start naming these costs now, we will wake up and find the cherry missing and only cavities left behind.
Yeah, cavities will get left behind, and that's why the bomb is considered labor. I like to break it down. The sugar shell is the final product, the syrup is the process, revisions, correction, fast checking, redesign. And the cherry, that's the invisible layer no one sees. Without the cherry, the candy's just sugar.
And that invisible labor is priceless. It's the hours of research to avoid cultural mistakes, the revisions to make sure the curriculum meets every student where they are, and the creative risk artists take to say something original. AI can imitate the shell, but it can't reproduce the weight of that labor.
I totally agree. And if we stop valuing the cherry, we stop valuing the people who grow it, pick it, and preserve it.
So let's look at the red core. And let's not miss this. The cherry is red. Red is urgency, conviction, passion. It's what keeps education and art alive. If that red core is ignored, everything collapses. Red is also a reminder that we must act, because if we wait too long, the cherry rots.
If the cherry rots, the bonbon falls apart. Let me repeat that. If the cherry rots, the bonbon falls apart. Education and arts collapse, and no amount of sugar coating can cover that up.
So red tells us this is the moment. Protect the core or lose the meaning.
Yes, and that's when we think about responsibilities, especially of makers. We as educators, scientists, and artists are the candy makers. We decide the recipe. We control how much sugar goes on, how the cherry is preserved, and how the candy is delivered.
I like that analogy. And candy makers have power. They decide whether the candy nourishes or gets candy crushed. They decide whether the cherry is preserved or replaced with artificial flavoring. That's our choice too. Responsibility means creating art and education that sustains communities, not manipulate them.
Yeah, and we don't claim that responsibility, AI will, and you know then people will get bitter.
Ooh, so what is the cost of that? Let's look at candy as currency. Candy has always been a form of currency. It's a reward, a bribe, a little treat for effort. AI has become that as well, the quick reward that feels earned even when it's not. But if everything is candy, the reward loses meaning. Students no longer value the process. Audiences no longer trust the art.
And that's the trap. If we treat AI like free candy, we risk cheapening the value of human-made work. The cherry bonbon metaphor reminds us that sweetness isn't free. It comes with choices, costs, and most importantly, consequences.
Which means the real question isn't, do we enjoy the candy? It's, are we willing to pay for the cherry?
So the question isn't whether AI is candy because it is. The question is, are we willing to unwrap it, chew past the sugar, and savor this cherry at the core?
Because candy coated isn't enough. We need nourishment, meaning, and memory. That's what makes education and art sustainable. And that's what makes human creativity irreplaceable.
And that what makes our work art official. Until next time, keep tasting and keep reaching for the cherry.
And that is official.